Do you know that one of the greatest life-saving heroes in human history wasn't a soldier, a king, or even a celebrated scientist? It was a quiet, unassuming woman from Peru who lived centuries ago. We don't know her name. Her face is lost to time. But her discovery, her singular act of courage and curiosity, has saved an estimated billion lives from starvation. This is her story, or at least, the story of her incredible gift to the world. Our story begins long before the potato was a staple on dinner tables around the globe. It begins in the high, harsh, and often unforgiving mountains of the Andes. There, ancient farmers, many of whom were women, were the world's first agricultural scientists. They spent generations meticulously studying the land, patiently testing seeds, and learning the secrets of which plants could survive the punishing cold, the persistent drought, and the ever-present threat of hunger. They were masters of their environment, their knowledge passed down through stories and practice, not written in books. And then, according to legend, came one woman. We can imagine her, perhaps, walking the frosty highlands, her eyes scanning the earth not just for what was known, but for what was possible. She found something unusual, a strange, lumpy root that grew where almost nothing else could. A small, knotted plant hiding beneath the frost-bitten soil. It wasn't beautiful, it wasn't obvious. To everyone else, it was just another weird, inedible tuber, but something made her stop. Something made her curious. No one believed it was food. In fact, many wild plants in the Andes were poisonous. Tasting something unknown was a gamble, a risk that could cost you your life. But she took that risk, she tasted it, and it was bitter. Acrid, even. The taste was a warning sign. It was potentially dangerous. Many people would have stopped there, discarding the plant and moving on, but she didn't give up. Night after night, driven by a need or a vision we can only guess at, she experimented. She was a chemist in her own right. She tried cooking it in different ways. Roasting it in embers, boiling it in water. Did soaking it help? She crushed it, dried it, mixed it with local herbs, trying to neutralize whatever made it so harsh. It was a process of trial and error, of patient observation. Slowly, meticulously, she discovered the secret. A specific way of preparing it that unlocked its potential, making it not just safe, but nutritious. But making it edible was only the first step. Next, she had to become a cultivator. She learned how to grow it, how to select the best tubers for the next planting. She figured out how to store it through the long, lean months, protecting it from rot and pests. She mastered the art of keeping this life-giving root alive through seasons where entire fields of other crops would wither and die. She didn't just find a food source, she created a food system. That humble root was the ancestor of the modern potato. For generations, it sustained her people, a secret weapon against famine hidden in the high Andes. Then, in the 1500s, everything changed. Spanish explorers arrived, and in their quest for gold and silver, they stumbled upon this agricultural treasure. They packed it onto their galleons and carried it across the vast ocean to Europe. But the potato's journey was far from over. At first, Europeans were deeply suspicious. They hated it. This strange, lumpy thing from a faraway land. They thought it was ugly, dirty, and maybe even evil. Rumors spread that it caused diseases like leprosy. Some religious figures declared it devil's work, pointing out that it wasn't even mentioned in the Bible. It was associated with witchcraft. Farmers flat out refused to plant it. Kings and queens tried to promote it, but the common people would rather go hungry than eat this bizarre foreign root. And then, they did go hungry. The famines came. Long, brutal winters, relentless rains, devastating crop failures. The traditional grains like wheat and rye, the backbone of European agriculture, failed. Hunger and desperation swept across the continent. People were starving. And in that desperation, they finally turned to the humble, once scorned root from a forgotten woman in the Andes, and the potato delivered. It thrived where wheat failed. It grew in poor soil, in cold climates, on small plots of land. It was a caloric powerhouse. It fed entire nations. It became the backbone of agriculture across continents, fundamentally changing the relationship between people and the land. Historians today estimate that the introduction of the potato was a turning point in world history. It lifted millions out of starvation and fueled an unprecedented population boom across Europe, Asia, and Africa. By providing a cheap, reliable, and nutritious food source, it allowed populations to grow, cities to expand, and economies to diversify. Some argue that the Industrial Revolution itself was only possible because of the calories provided by the potato, which fed the new urban working class. It literally changed the course of empires. Think about that! An entire era of human progress, powered by a plant discovered by one woman whose name we will never know. The woman who first tasted the unknown, who trusted her instincts, who worked tirelessly to unlock its secrets and save her people. She has vanished completely from the pages of history. Her contribution is monumental, on par with any great invention or discovery, yet there are no statues of her. No holidays in her honor, but her legacy is everywhere. It's alive in every meal that includes a potato. It's present in every family, in every generation, spared from the horrors of famine. It lives on in every field around the world where potatoes grow under open skies, from the farmlands of Idaho to the plains of China. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the greatest heroes are the ones history forgets. The ones who never carried a sword, or wore a crown, or had their names etched in stone. They are the quiet innovators, the patient observers, the courageous individuals whose small acts of bravery and genius ripple outwards, changing the world in ways they could never have imagined. Her quiet courage nourished the world, and that is a legacy greater than any monument. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, please give this video a like and subscribe for more stories about the hidden heroes of history. See you next time.